Hey there, this is Athril. Welcome back to my Let's Play of the Testimony of Trixie Glimmer Smith. So, let's see where we left Trixie. Load. Let's see, which one was it? I think it's... this one. I ate some sugar flakes. Alright, so... we are doing the Heidi route, and this is... it's been a week since I played this. Oh, darn. Alright, Katie and Yellow, crazy neighbor, crazy shopkeeper. Gotcha. Parsnip is still weird. I think we're good. I don't remember any of the voices. I ate some sugar flakes and got ready for another long walk to Daffodil Lane. I arrived at Daffodil Lane only to be greeted by a loud caw. That mangy magpie again. The caw sounded like it came from near the creepy cottage, as if it was calling for me. I tried to spot the magpie, but they are nowhere to be seen. Hi, Trixie! Fuck! I spun around and screamed. Directly behind me, less than a half-meter away, stood Parsnip. That was prophetic. Oh no! Please, no bad words! This is a no-bully zone! Sorry, Parsnip, you just scared me is all. I didn't expect you to be standing directly behind me like that. No one ever does! I'm very quiet! You're very creepy. I couldn't help but feel slightly creeped out by that. I turned around to look for the magpie. I was sure I could feel their beady white eyes locked onto me, but they were nowhere to be seen. Reluctantly, I turned back to Parsnip. He was grinning excitedly, and I noticed he had a picnic basket with him. Oh no. I'm having a picnic. Would you like to come, friend? I was kind of hungry, but I felt like I should probably get on with stopping Nikita. Oh my god. Oh my god. I actually have no idea which one of these to pick. Oh boy. You know what? I have to know. I have to know. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna hang out for a little while. Yay! Oh wow! I'm so excited! Let's go ask Rosie if she would like to come too. Oh, okay. I can't be too long though. I'm pretty busy, so all-day picnic! All-day picnic! He skipped off to LaRose's cottage. I started agreeing to this, but followed along behind him. Oh my god. I eventually caught up to Parsnip. He was knocking on LaRose's door and bouncing excitedly. I saw LaRose peering out of the window between a crack in the curtains before receding back into the darkness of her cottage. I got the impression she didn't want to be involved. I don't blame her. I don't think LaRose is home, Parsnip. Maybe we should get going. There was a loud crash from inside. Fuck's sake! Fucking easel cunt! If you're not gonna stay standing up, then why even live? Oh my god. I heard the distinctive sound of an easel being snapped in half. I think it was an easel being snapped in half. I'm not sure what gave you that impression. You're right. I don't think she's in. I was starting to doubt how much Parsnip existed in our plane of reality. I guess it's just you and me, friend. He pulled a friendship yarn out of his bag and waved it at me. You still have yours, right? Right? I rummaged through my stuff and pulled out the yarn. It was slightly worse for wear after a few days in my bag, but Parsnip's face lit up nevertheless when I gently wiggled it. I'd never throw away this present. Yay! Oh yay! What great friendship! I was glad to have diffused the situation. I didn't want to get into Parsnip's bad side. He seemed slightly unstable. Let's get on with our picnic. Follow me to the wheat field, friend. The wheat field wasn't a great spot given that the wheat hadn't been cut, but it was at least somewhat shady in between the crops. Parsnip giggled as he trampled through the field with a picnic spot. He seemed to find running through the field of wheat strangely naughty. Though part of me thought the devious giggle in the secluded spot may just have been because I was about to be murdered. I quickly shook off those thoughts, intent on trying my best to have a nice time. I'm telling you, Parsnip is a serial killer. He killed his aunt, stole her cottage, and now he's going to kill Trixie. Parsnip started to unpack his picnic hamper. I have to admit, I was slightly dreading what he might pull out. To my surprise, what he did get out looked really good. A tray of cupcakes, each decorated with different colored icing and sprinkles. A few even had chocolate chips and flakes on them. Things were looking up. He got a pitcher of water out of the basket, and somehow it hadn't spilled inside despite being sideways and having no lid, possibly defying the laws of physics. Eldritch abomination serial killer. He poured the water into a pair of plastic cups and handed me a red one. I thanked him and took a sip. The water was surprisingly nice and very cold. I thought this might turn out to be nice after all. I thought I'd soon come to regret. At this point, Parsnip got a bag of Sugar Daddy icing out of his hamper and poured a good 100 grams into his cup. The sugar partially dissolved in the water, but most of it settled at the bottom of the cup. I grimaced at the thought of drinking it. Would you like some sugar? No, that's okay, Parsnip. Thanks for the offer. Then try some cake! Oh god, we're gonna die! I looked at the cupcakes. There were about 10 on a shared plate. They had different colored icings and decorations. They looked pretty nice, if a little sickly. That said, something about them felt off. This might be a side episode. Nervously ate some food. I cautiously picked up a small cupcake. On the surface, it looked fine, but something about it felt off. Parsnip didn't seem like the kind of person who would make a good baker. Regardless, it was too late now. Parsnip was looking at me expectantly with his big pleading eyes. He was clearly proud of his work, and I felt a little bad at the thought of disappointing him. I took a small bite of the cupcake, and the sponge crumbled like ash in my mouth. Sugar crawled down my throat, threatening to choke me. The taste of decay filled my mouth, and I gagged. Gah! I spat the cake out in the wheat and grabbed my cup of water. I swirled the liquid around my mouth and spat it out, gasping for air. Had I imagined that? Could the cake really have been that bad? Parsnip stared at me unblinking, his smile completely unchanged. We both sat in silence for a moment while I regained my breath. So, did you like it? Yes. I decided it was best to lie. I didn't want to hurt Parsnip's feelings. I ended up being murdered in a wheat field. Thanks, that rocked. I managed to croak out between breaths. Great! Have a taste of the rest! I worked really hard! I watched Parsnip start to nibble tiny bits off the other cakes, and then put them back on the shared plate. He didn't seem to have taken anything I had said. He would cycle through the cakes, eating only little bits of each at a time. Occasionally, he would take a sip of sugar water by clumsily holding the plastic cup between his big paws, usually spilling some of the sticky water on himself. He didn't seem to mind. I watched Parsnip nibble his food in silence until he finished, at which point he fell over backwards, asleep. Good night, Parsnip. Something was bothering me about Parsnip. He felt fundamentally wrong. I thought about the hideous food. Surely it was not of this world. The rabbit's strange mannerisms and aura filled me with discomfort. I remembered when I first met Parsnip. He had appeared from nowhere as if summoned to me from the void. I had asked him about the King in Yellow. There had been no denial, merely a gleeful cry of, "Wow, I love yellow. Oh wow, it's my favorite color." I broke out into a sweat. A confession. I knew it. I'd been being toyed with all along. That cursed string Parsnip had given me all those days ago. I pulled it out of my bag and threaded it through itself into an intricate but all too familiar shape. The yellow sign. This was the gift to me from the king, or perhaps a warning, or a curse. I shuddered in fear and quickly pushed the terrible sign back into my bag. I wouldn't have to think about this further. I buried the thoughts in my mind. I stuck away, only to run straight into the rose. Ah! Fuck! How long have you been there? We need to talk. It was an incredibly ominous conversation starter. Okay, here? I peered down at the snoozing Parsnip. Judging by his sniffing nose and munching noises, he was dreaming about food. My place. She started walking off. It sounded serious. Yeah, I want to know where this is going. I said this might be a side thing. I silently followed the Rose to her cottage. Things felt really intense. Did she know what I knew about Parsnip? So, Parsnip has given you one of those strings too, then. How long had she been watching us? Wait, is that what this is about? Kind of. There was a long silence while my brain tried to process things. It's just you seemed pretty intense. I was kind of worried. I mean, well, it is important. A bit. The yard. Do you have one as well? I have at least 20. When I woke up this morning, there were 3 poking through my letterbox. I was concerned for her. To receive one of the cursed gifts from the King Yellow was bad enough. But 20? The Rose seemed to live in blissful ignorance of their true evil, at least. I decided it was kinder to let her stay that way. I'm considering using them to tie a makeshift noose. Wait, was that a joke? Sure. So far, all I've been able to do is hoover them up and burn the bags. Like my student, Parsnip is not receptive of criticism. So anyway, I wanted to ask for your help. I really need to get rid of Parsnip. So I was wondering, are you trying to get me killed to kill Parsnip? He's weird, sure, but it's a little much, don't you think? What? No! Don't be ridiculous, no! I was just going to, like, ask if you, I don't know, throw him in a bush and tell him to leave me alone. I stared at LaRose, slightly dumbfounded. You want me to assault him? What? I continued to stare at him, her dumbfounded. Not, like, badly. You've spoken to him, right? Just push him into a bush really carefully and be like, hey, leave LaRose alone or the boys will get you. And that should be enough to spook him. Are you okay? I'm fine! Look, living next door to Parsnip is slowly killing me. I used to drink 30, maybe 40 units of alcohol a day. Now I'm up to maybe 60. Look, will you just give it a go? I can't live like this much longer. Oh my god. I declined. Sorry, LaRose, but I'm not going to push your neighbor into a bush. He'll get bored soon, I'm sure. Well, I'm disappointed. She sighed. Well, thanks anyway. I better get painting. I'll see you around. I felt a little bad abandoning LaRose to her fate, but pushing Parsnip over seemed a bit too mean even for my morally bankrupt self. Or perhaps I feared him. I was still trying to process his connection to Carcosa. To the King in Yellow. I decided I'd be fucking around for too long and really get all my business. Okay, so, no, like, weird little side path, but not a secret end. I stood in front of the abandoned cottage, the gateway to Carcosa. I needed to make sure Nikita hadn't done anything here. This cottage may be the only place I could stop her. The upstairs seemed pretty much as I'd left it. I knew I was going to have to go downstairs. Not a fun thought. Memories of my last visit still swam in my mind fuzz. It's time to accept my fate and return to the basement where this all started. The skulls sat in the same position as before. I almost started to believe I'd really imagined them speaking to me. But before I could step any further into the room, they snapped around to face me, and my heart sunk as I realized returning here was a mistake. Another guest, the little rat, returns. Hello, friend. I was frozen, whether by shock or by the ghost design, I don't know. Please I'm not here to bother you. It's someone your friend. Yes. The deer was here, searching for a gate. Gate she found. Already present, the yellow sign. Creator, I am. forever, never to be removed, no matter how much I tear at its paint. The gate is present, it needs only a key. No more preparations are needed, only the moonlight of a full moon, but if the deer says it's true. A believable claim, for I too require tonight's white light, reunite broken body no more. If the deer speaks true, then endless ashen terrors crawling forth from the lake. The rapt, pointed fingers of the king leading them. The decay will spread, the rot. Then I was too late to prevent Nikita from performing a ritual. It'd be up to me in person, a battle I would probably lose. I spent a lot of time studying the moon. It was pretty important for a lot of myths, especially around here. I knew very well that the next full moon was tomorrow. Okay, well that's all I need to know, so I'll just be out of your scalp bone. I started to run for the basement, but leave not, little white rat. I stopped in my tracks, and not by choice. A golden glow clung to my body, holding me totally still. Moonbeam, Heidi, Trixie, Glimmer, Smith, Hall 1. You will return what you stole! My blood froze. This ghost knew about me and Heidi? It knew about Moonbeam? I had robbed it! I remember that night in the alley, the golden eyes of the matted figure. I remember the glint of recognition when the figure had laid eyes on my face. You! The grimoire! The shop returned there, finish our deal, or Hyena will perish. The skull shattered into dust. Any evidence of their existence turned into fine bone powder that joined the spores and dust in their toxic dance. I was thrown to the ground as the golden mist floated out of the basement, like snow in a breeze. I climbed to my feet, my head ringing. I must have hit it when I fell. I made my way outside and caught my breath. There was no time for anything else. Right now, I had to help Heidi. I tried to phone her, but there was no answer. Looks like I just have to go run all the way to town. The windows of Heidi's shop were blinded, and a sign read closed. Someone didn't want intruders. My heart dropped. Was I too late? Summoning all my courage, I burst inside. Heidi, oh shit! I was too late. Heidi had been pinned to the spot, and her weapons were discarded on the floor. The shop gently shook with the same force that had infested the abandoned cottage on Daffodil Lane. It looked like the boxes from the office had been pulled into the shop, items were thrown from them, as if the ghost was searching for something. On the floor lay the lifeless, matted figure, their bodies still hidden beneath their thick cloak. Trixie! Get out of here! The white one arrives, the pale rat. Thank you, friend. Placate your associate. Aid me and it shall be fine. I was terrified. This had gotten out of hand. Heidi, calm down. They need our help. Then they'll leave us alone. They promised. I wasn't sure if I believed them, but it was my only way out. Please, put her down. She'll behave. Right, Heidi? I gulped. She looked pissed. Fine. Very well. Behave, little hyena. Heidi dropped to the floor as the golden glow pulled away from her. Her bat and taser lifted in the air as if yanked up by strings. Heidi's weapons were thrown into the air. The bat splintered, scattering shards of wood across the shop as the taser seemingly imploded and fell on the floor with a dull thud. The deal, rat. The book. Stolen by you. The book. The spell. The body. Reunite. The voice boomed in my head. I don't know what you mean. The book I sent you with the other night. The one you didn't give them. It's some old spell book, supposedly written by the Salt Sisters. It's in one of the boxes. Okay, Heidi, you just stay there and I'll find it. I rummaged through one of the boxes. There were a lot of books, but none of them seemed to be by the Salt Sisters. I could feel the invisible eyes of the ghostly entity burn into me like hot coals as I fumbled through the junk. Hurry, do not waste time, rat! Look, I'm trying, okay? It's... Heidi, you don't really organize this stuff well. That's because I was going to burn it. Sorry, it's just... I might have helped right now is all. Not really the time for you to be bitching about my organization, missy. Do not bicker. The mask. Find it. Small rat. Small white rat. I don't even know what it looks like. It's black and old. Fortunately, there was only one book in amongst the scattered artifacts that fit that description. Oh, okay, here it is. My fingers trembled as I picked up the book. The Grimoire of the Salt Sisters. It looked old enough to be original and radiated malevolence from its crumbling pages. Yes, the book, the forbidden words, the sisters, the body reunite. I don't know what it is you want. The book is so long and Before I could finish, the golden mist of the ghost plucked the book from my hands and flicked through the pages impossibly fast. The pages stopped turning. The voice boomed louder than before. The spell, cast, the body, do it now. The shop seemed to shake with each word. A cyber Draculia plushie burst in a shower of wool and lead. The sound of cans imploding boomed from inside the vending machine. Speak it now! 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 The voice repeated in my head, drumming orders into me as my mind began to cloud once more. The page seemed to list the words in some terrible spell. I dare not write them here. I read them aloud, trying as hard as I could not to understand what I said. With each word, my mind ached. Stories always talk about the price for performing magic, and I could see now it was no lie. I can only hope my actions that day do not cost me my soul, if indeed I still have one. As the last word of the spell left my lips, the shop began to violently shake. Trixie, get back! Heidi pulled me to her, and we ducked behind the shop counter. I could see her in her eyes that after hearing that dark spell from me, Heidi felt afraid of me, even if she hid it. The room pulsed in a golden light. I shut my eyes, but that was not enough to keep the gold from seeping in. Whispers filled my mind. Regal speech of Carcosa. Descriptions of a forgotten era, and inklings of forbidden knowledge. Threats against a nameless enemy. Fear. The matted figure's tormented mind. Then, as suddenly as the process had begun, it was over. The room was silent, the golden light absent. Is it over? Oh, look. Stay still. I was glad Heidi had volunteered. I had dreaded to think what we might see. Heidi didn't say anything. Whether it was good or bad, I wasn't sure, but I decided to look. In the center of the room, standing with their own muscles and smiling at us with a wicked grin, stood the matted figure. Ah, my friends, you have been most useful. The bargain is complete. Then the figure began to leave the shop, walking clumsily on their weak legs. And you aren't coming back? The figure paused their back to us. They looked over their shoulder, straight into Heidi's eyes. You have my word. Before either of us could respond, the figure stumbled out of the shop. Heidi sighed and patted me on the shoulder. You okay, Trixie? I wasn't. I knew what walked underneath that cloak. Even imagining it was enough to make me shiver. To look upon the warped face of a sheep was an awful thought. How could such a creature have come to exist? And yet I knew that it was as natural as I. Which begged the question, why were no other sheep like it? I shook the thoughts from my head. I just wanted this to be over. Yeah, I'm fine. Heidi looked at the mess of books, amulets, and other tat thrown across the room with a sigh. That was a week of organizing down the drain. So, I guess I need to clean this up. It's all kind of lost its charm now that I know some of it's actually evil incarnate. You okay to help me? We can burn it. I checked the time. It would be a little bit longer until the moon was out. I can help for a bit, sure. I don't really fancy going outside yet anyway. I'd rather give that person more time to get as far away as possible. For sure. Come on, let's get this stuff packed up and flammable. We started reading through the mess. It was a lot easier to sort through it now that it was all just went straight into the burying box. Sorry for, ruining everything for you, Heidi. I fucked up pretty badly. Hey now, it's not your fault. I shouldn't have gotten you involved in this weird stuff. Heck, I should have gotten myself involved in this weird stuff. I think it's time I go straight-laced and start running the shop properly. Really? Heidi thought for a moment. Nah. I'll probably just sell it and get a job as a bouncer. A really violent bouncer. I wasn't sure if she was joking or not. How do you fancy free entry to whatever club I work at? I think I'll pass on that. Thanks, though. What about your Moonbeam stuff? Will you keep that for your Dungeons and Fungeons games? She picked up the mask and Delilah Moonbeam up off the floor. Oh, heck. I can't burn this. It's kind of special to me. Started packing it away into the keep box. Hey, Heidi. I know this big ask after my fuck-ups, but do you think I could maybe have the mask? Heidi looks at the mask. Sure, Trixie. It's a present, okay? To make up for all the times I yelled at you and stuff. You can wear it to your graduation and totally prank everyone. We fixed up the shop for a while, and it was a real mess. At some point, I realized everything that had happened had made me completely forget Nikita. I glanced out the window. The full moon hung low in the sky. I knew Nikita would be heading to Daffodil Lane soon. Maybe she was already there. I felt bad leaving Heidi, and if it wasn't for my pit in my stomach I got when I imagined Nikita intentionally or not, releasing the horrors of Carcosa into our world, I would have gladly stayed. Hey Heidi, I have to go do something. Will you be okay here by yourself? Huh? You need to do something? At like midnight? After what we just saw? What's that important? Is everything okay, Trixie? Yes, it's fine. It's just something important. I need to help out my friend. She's in trouble is all. Yeah, I mean, you helped me, right? Maybe I can help you. Help them. I wanted to say yes. With Heidi there, maybe I could stop Nikita. And yet, I couldn't let myself be weak and bring her along. I couldn't be a coward and drag Heidi into something worse than what she'd already experienced because of me. No, this is something I had to do alone. No, Heidi. It's okay. It's nothing serious. It's just a private thing, you know? Uni stuff. Yeah? Nothing I can do? Well, a lift to Daffodil Lane might be nice. The lane was quiet, and it looked like Nikita hadn't opened the gate. Yet, at least. Here good? Totally. Thank you, Heidi. And thank you for, being my friend and stuff. Despite everything that happened, I really like hanging out with you. Yeah, it's been fun. But hey, it's not like you're going anywhere. I'll see you tomorrow night. I wasn't sure. I'm sure. You should get to bed or whatever you do at night. I'll be okay here. I just gotta go help my friend. Yeah? I'll see you tomorrow then, bud. You have a good night, okay, Trixie? See ya, Heidi. I waved her off as her motorcycle sped back towards town. I hoped this would be the last time I saw her. I walked down Daffodil Lane toward the abandoned cottage. It must have been about 1 or 2 in the morning. I feared I was too late, but there didn't seem to be any sign that Nikita had been successful. I walked past Parsnip's cottage. It was quiet. He was probably tucked in a bed asleep or whatever he does at night. Of course, I knew his secret. Parsnip was corrupt, a puppet of the King in Yellow. I knew that if I could stop Nikita, destroy that evil play and terrible yellow signs he'd forced that rabbit to create, Parsnip would be free from his enslavement. No, he won't. I could save him. The abandoned cottage seemed unchanged. Could it be that Nikita hadn't come? My hopes were shattered when I stepped inside. I could hear murmuring from the basement. Nikita was here. Surrounded by candles, she stood upon a yellow sign. She faced away from me, chanting to herself. I think she was trying to repeat some kind of incantation, but she kept tripping up her words and losing her place. The small crystal sat in the center of the yellow sign, shimmering faintly in the candlelight. I had to talk her out of this madness. I knew I was too weak to fight her after the night's events so far, and I'm pretty sure Nikita is more violent than she looks. Nikita! Oh, Trixie! I'm surprised you dared show your furry little face here. I assumed you'd be in your room drawing bat hentai or something. I have to say, I'm impressed. I almost admire your dedication to annoying me. But you're too late. The ritual is in progress. I walk across the cloud waves to my destiny. Right now you're just kind of stood there. Okay, but soon I shall walk across the cloud waves to my destiny. It's not like you're going to stop me. By all means, stay and watch my ascension, or fuck off. I don't care. I I need to wait a little longer is all. Was Nikita wrong? She seemed confused somehow. Her ritual didn't seem to be going to plan. The candles had almost melted to their bases. How long had she been there? Nikita, stop. The ritual isn't working. We won't get through your gate. How about you come back to uni with me and we can talk this out? No! I will not forfeit my birthright because of your little lies. I will succeed. It's just taking a little longer than it should. I need to prove to the king. I need to show him my faith has not faltered. The one who sits on the broken throne cannot be weak. They cannot be unsure. Maybe I made a mistake. The candle placement must be wrong, or maybe my pronunciation is off. She started flicking through her notepad, desperation building in her face. I was starting to doubt Nikita. Not doubt Nikita. I expect her to summon up a portal of shimmering cloud and step through to her destiny. Instead, she just seemed utterly broken. Deranged. Maybe you're wrong. About the ritual. About the throne. About that play. Trixie! Shut up! I know what's wrong. The one external variable. It's you! This is a test. I must prove myself. My loyalty. Well, I will not break. I swear to you, my king, from upon the broken throne, I shall call forth the dread fleet, the ashen horrors of the Twilight Quarter and the Iron Watchmen. I shall set them upon Trixie and crush her. And now, my king, will you bring me the White Gate? She was serious. The malevolence in her voice was enough to kill any doubt I had that these were the words of a madwoman. Nikita had to be stopped. This ritual could not be completed. I remember the things I brought with me. They might be the only way to end this without a fight. Which I would pretty sure I'd lose. Or with Nikita winning. Which I'm pretty sure would be end with me dead. Sorry, Nikita, but it's too late. I know you haven't been chosen. I tried to sound at least somewhat sure of myself. Nikita looked pissed. That's real cute, Trixie. You finally learned to stand up for yourself. But surely you realize the smart move was to know your place and be my underling? I think I'm okay without that, actually. I was gifted with something you were not. I held the yellow sign high above my head. Nikita smirked. Really, Trixie? The yellow sign? Look around you. She lifted her arms and spun on the spot. The world is covered in the sign. The king is everywhere. He owns us. She was right. He was everywhere. But I didn't let it dissuade me. And he chose me. Yet his servant gave me this, before you had even read his play. You were never graced with his sign. You just found those left for others. Nikita looked almost taken aback. He chose me, Nikita. No, he cursed you with it. Maybe she was right. I certainly wasn't happy to have received the yellow sign. But I could see Nikita was cracking somewhat. Now shut up and tremble in your pathetic little boots as I complete my ritual. Nikita threw her arms in the air. Nothing happened. Gah! I might know why your portal isn't opening. I pulled Tabby's psychic crystal from my bag. It shimmered with ancient magic. Nikita's crystal was nullified. What? Another crystal? Is this a trick? What are you playing at, Smith? Two psychic crystals in close proximity. Well, they neutralize each other, right? You didn't know that? I know. This is a trick. You're trying to trick me, Trixie. I won't fall for your Trixie. Tricks. I won't fall for your She stopped abruptly. She knew I was telling the truth. I guess I have an honest face. No. How did you? Oh, you obviously didn't read Reaching New Worlds very carefully. I expected better of you, Nikita. I smirked, a sight of which I was worried would begin to attack me right then and there. Her two least favorite things, being wrong and me. Fuck! Nikita stomped her foot on one of the candles, crushing it. She was getting dangerously angry. So Miss Knight is in league with you, too. How am I surprised? She will get what's coming to her. This is my destiny, Trixie. It was foretold! She lifted the king in yellow above her head, dramatically. Your crystal is powerless against him. He chose me, Trixie, above everyone else. Crystal or not, The gate will open, and you will pay for your treachery. I'm sorry, Nikita, but I'm not sure the king has chosen you. I pulled the mask out of my bag and held it aloft for Nikita to see. You've been betrayed, Nikita. The king chose me. The mask had come to me indirectly, but that didn't make it any less my right, even if I didn't want it. Nikita laughed at me as she didn't seem convinced. Then a brief flutter in her expression as her eyes focused on the grim visage. In that moment, I knew she recognized the mask. Oh, great king, this can't be! Smith, how? How did you? Her face broke into a blend of fear and betrayal. I was lied to. She fell to her knees, tears streaming between her fingers. And are you forgetting, Nikita? It was me who was given the play. You had to beg me to give it to you. Trixie, you were the one he chose. None of his whispers were true. He played me like an instrument. Like Carcosa, I have been shamed, my vanity taken and crushed. Trixie, She broke down into tears. Despite everything, I pitied her. Finish the ritual. Take your place atop the broken throne. But show me mercy, I beg of you. I'm not taking the throne, Nikita. I don't want it. And I think deep down, neither do you. Let's just go back and get some rest. We can pretend this never happened. Obviously that wouldn't happen, but I wanted to keep her calm. It looked like this terrible week was finally coming to a close. But She pointed meekly at the mask. I looked down at it. Its ruby eyes seemed to glow, a promise of decadence and power beyond the white gate. Inlaid symbols speaking unknowing secrets into my mind. For a moment, I considered that maybe this was truly my destiny. Was this mask always meant to fall into my hands? I shook my head. That wasn't a path I was willing to take. I wanted nothing to do with Carcosa and the false promise of the King in Yellow. We could destroy it, the play too. It's all evil, Nikita. Just look at what's done to us. Let's get back to Uni, okay? Uni. Yes. Okay, Trixie. I slept well that night. Me and Nikita intended to burn the King in Yellow as soon as I finished writing the statement. When I suggested torching the play, I was worried she might snap back into her mania and try to stop me. But she had nothing to say. It was like being outsmarted had totally crushed any desire Nikita had to keep up with her mad charade. I'm pretty sure she'll be back to her old self once the election comes along, for better or for worse. Still, she seems to have developed some small amount of modesty, and I swear I can see a hint of respect for me in her eyes. Which I'm not entirely sure I like. It's uncanny. I've managed to keep Nikita distracted with her election work. I told her not to write my report. I wanted to do it myself, hence why I'd appreciate some more time to finish it. I've been swatting off worried calls from Heidi the last 2 days. I think she knows something is up, but as soon as I submit this form, I'm going to meet up with her. I shall not speak to her of the King in Yellow. That's a secret between me, Nikita, and you. I still need to talk to her about our experience with the matted figure. I have so many questions about that night. About the matted figure. About sheep and our world's forgotten past. When I remembered the knowing, plotting smirk that cruel figure gave us before I left the shop, my heart fills with dread, matched only by one thing. What I read inside the King in Yellow. Despite everything, I have to admit there is still a temptation to open it. To finish reading the King in Yellow. The end. Great, I'm done. I just need to take this down to the office and I can start work. Trixie, show me your statement immediately. I just realized I'm relying on you not to get me expelled with whatever you wrote in this thing. Jeez, Nikita, how long did you get in? How did you get in here? The door, Trixie? Wait, what is this? Why are your walls covered in writing? I hadn't noticed that. Excuse me, but what the fuck? Whatever, Trixie. Either you've lost the plot, or this is one of those maymays that I just don't get. Also, the word limit for that form is like 300. This... Look, Trixie, I respect that you actually put some effort into something for once in your life, but as well as being written on the walls, this is way too long. What a waste of time. You can clean it up, and I'll write you a less shit statement. One that will actually get read and not get us arrested in the process, because no way have you held back from talking shit about me. I'll just say you had trouble working this week because your albinism made working during the heat wave difficult. There, saved you 50,000 words. Oh, okay, Nikita. Well, time to get to work. Just as soon as I finish reading all the new Cyberjack Kuya reboot theories online. Okay, that was fun. And I guess I still have 2 other routes to play at some point. The episode's a little bit longer than normal, but, you know, that was to finish it. Yeah, I love this setting. I really like it's bizarre and weird, and Parsnip is terrifying. But yeah, definitely a fun little game. Definitely check it out. I will eventually put the other 2 routes up. I saved it, make that save point. I'm really curious to see what Greg is about. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed. This has been a thorough and testimony of Trixie Glimmer Smith. Have a nice day.